días. Buenos días, amigos. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Peru. Welcome to a hidden gem of the Central Andes of South America. We are going today to explore together the gem of the South Andes, Ayacucho, also known as Huamanga. Thank you so much for joining today, amigos. Hola, Catherine. Thanks for coming. Thanks for visiting me. This time not in Lima, as usual, but in one of already my favorite cities in the country. Hola, Natalie. Thanks for joining. Hola, Marilyn. Hola, querida. Hola, hola. Thanks, dear. Thanks so much for joining me. Actually, joining us today, I am with my cousin, and we're going to show you together this part of the country. Thank you so much for coming today and prepare for an adventure that has no comparison. We're going to visit the church known as one of the most important of the Andes. We're going to see it from the exteriors. We're going to see a city known as the city of the churches, with 33 churches in a very small section. It shows also how religious this place is and how historic this place is. So today we're going to visit, as I was saying, Ayacucho City in this city tour. I am transmitting live from Peru to the world. If you have a question, please share your questions with me here on the chat zone. I will be answering your questions, checking constantly on the chat box. Also feel free of sharing this event while it's live, and later also when we're going to finish this event, because it's so special, so unique, it is going to be posted open until nighttime, Peruvian nighttime, for you to join and see it. And later we are going, of course, to keep it private for the Patreon group. I have a Patreon group. I have wonderful supporters that are helping me to create more unique content for you all, including trips like this one. So if you would like to have access, not just to a recording of this event, also of many events I will be doing during my trip here in Ayacucho, well, please consider becoming my Patreon. From a very little amount of money as $2 per month, you can access to private content there. All the information of my Patreon, or maybe of supporting via PayPal, is in the description of this event. So before we begin, let me tell you a little bit more about me. My name is Vanessa Vasquez. I am your Lima City tour guide. It is a pleasure to have you today in a place that is not Lima. I work as a tour guide in Lima City, capital of Peru, for many years, and sometimes I get to travel with tour groups to different parts of Peru. This is my very first time in Ayacucho, so it is a pleasure to take you with me in my backpack to this part of the country. So prepare, fasten your seatbelts, and let's begin with this fantastic tour of the historic center of Ayacucho. So let's flip the camera to the other side and let me now show you what is in front of us. Called Arco del Triunfo, or the Triumph Arch or Triumph Gate, is the official beginning of our walking tour in the historic center of Huamanga. The colonial name of this city is Huamanga, but since the independence, it received the name of Ayacucho. So basically both names are correct. So this part of the country is probably one of the less visited by international tourists. And the reason is because it is not in the circuit to Cusco, in the circuit to Machu Picchu. It is not in the circuit to Titicaca Lake. So this place, it is, let's say, an off the beaten path destination. So let me show you a bit of what we have around first, and prepare also your questions. It will be a delight to answer your questions. I am not originally from this city, but I love to also learn about new things. I've been reading a lot about the history of this zone, and also other miscellaneous information that I will be sharing with you all. So over here we have a market, a traditional Andes market. It is called Mercado Carlos F. Vivanco, and it is also known as Mercado de San Francisco. And the reason is because we are right in front of the Church of the Franciscan Order. So let's go across to have a chance of seeing the facade of the Church of the Franciscans, right? So the Church of the Franciscans you are seeing here was built in the year 1552. And look at the details of the traditional architecture of the churches of this part of the country. They are stone churches. They are constructed in stone. And this, of course, shows the importance of making architecture long-lasting in case of earthquakes, but also in case of rains. In the Andes of Peru, we have lots of rains. Well, there's a rainy season when it pours rain, so it's pouring rain. So that's why also you can notice that in the center of the street, there is a sewer or a section where you can also see when it rains a drainage for the water of the heavy rains that we usually have in this section. So the construction that we see here is the Church of the Franciscans. We can also go a little bit closer to show you the facade in detail. The Franciscan order is one of the most important religious orders we have in Peru, and why not to say it, in the Hispanic Americas. This order came with the conquistadors. They were the second order that arrived to Peru with the Spanish. Who knows which one is the oldest religious order that came to Peru with the Spanish conquistadors? Hola, Satiam. Thanks for joining, amigo. Thanks for joining. We're visiting a complete different place. We're not in Lima, by the way. We are in the Andes. So the religious order that came with the conquistadors, the first one was the Dominican order, right? So give a look to the facade. I think we can do a little zoom over here. Right? Yes, dear, Catholic order. It was the Dominican order. The Dominican order, as the Franciscans, the Jesuits, the Mercedarians, the Augustinians, are religious wings of the Catholic religion that help in this territory with the evangelization of the indigenous. So there you can see Saint Francis of Assisi, right? He is in ecstasy. He is about to receive the estigmata. It is the person seated on the knees with the open arms, right? So we're going to de-zoom now. And, well, the church is really amazing. So churches in this town open in the afternoon. It might be also because of the tradition of people going to work early in the morning, so they have time to see, to visit the churches, to see a priest in the afternoon. So that's why they open in the afternoon. And we are having a very nice view of the Arco del Triunfo, the Gate of the Triumph. And in Peru, we do have many cities that have elements like this one. Some of them not in the best shape. This one here is absolutely beautiful. So, known also as the Arch of St. Francis, Arco de San Francisco, was built in commemoration of a very important battle, the Battle of May 2nd of 1866. But it was built 20 years after that battle, in the year 1886. So 20 years after the confrontation This monument was created to commemorate the heroes of the war. That war also was very, very important for Peru. It happened between, it was Peru and Spain. There was a commission of Spanish militaries who came to Peruvian territory reclaiming for benefits from the war of the independence, and that also ended up in a confrontation that was a war finally. But we won that war, so we have here this element. So we will continue walking now, and also notice the cheerful, streets, so many people out in the streets, like walking and selling products. You can see also that one of the preferred transportation modes in this city are motorcycles. We also see tuk-tuks or moto taxis everywhere in this city, and that is because it's really the easiest way to move, because look at the streets, look how narrow the streets are. We're going to take advantage of the red light for us to cross, and also let's give a look to also how narrow the streets are here, right? We have taxis also, we have buses. I don't know how these buses can get along with the narrow streets. And always you're going to see this drainage system in the center of the streets for allowing rains that we never have in Lima. By the way, I am from Lima, originally capital of Peru. We never have any rains. So as a person from a desert, this is absolutely surprising because in my city it just rains 1 cubic centimeter per year, right? So here you can tell by the architecture of the houses that rain is common. So also another detail, let's focus in the architecture in the Andes. We have these beautiful gates that usually are carved in stone. Look at this, so carved stone. The houses are also made in a stone, so they are very strong, very resistant. And on top, we have these roof tiles that are also the typical decoration of the houses here. Wooden balconies also open. We don't have enclosed balconies in the Andes, in this section in particular. Enclosed balconies are from the coast. So here we have open balconies that allow straight light from the street into the house. So it is indeed a wonderful adaptation to the nature of the climate of the Andes. The elevation where we are in this moment is 2,718 meters above sea level. So we are lower than Cusco City, but higher than Arequipa. Also, the city where we are in this moment is a place that offers different kinds of entertainments. We have museums here, museums connected with churches as well, and archaeological museums. So we have all kinds of attractions. We have archaeological sites outside the city center. We have also parks, recreational parks, and more. So we're going to give a look also to the Arco del Triunfo from our location. Let's turn the camera. Ooh, how beautiful it is, right? The Arco del Triunfo received a restoration on the year 1910. And this restoration also changed its original design, which was originally Baroque, something also we call as Andean Baroque, very over the top, very decorated. But it was changed in 1910 to a neoclassic. I do believe this neoclassic style is beautiful. The Baroque according to the images we have, was probably very, very beautiful, but it was very, let's say, damaged because of earthquakes. So that's why it was necessary to change it to this style. So we will now continue walking. So how is the internet, by the way, amigos? How is the connection? I didn't have the chance to do this tour before because this is the first time here in Ayacucho. So I was just wondering if you were able to hear me correctly and also receive the signal. Oh, Satyam, thanks for that confirmation. Muchas gracias, amigo. It's very important, of course, that you are able to see everything clearly. Also, thank you, Beata. Gracias, dear. Thank you. Muchas gracias, Natalie. I'm glad that everything is working good. Also, look at the beautiful traditional dresses of the Andes. How beautiful the traditional fashion of women in the Andes. In the Andes, people use with pride their traditional dresses, the skirts, the hats, gentlemen, especially gentlemen who are older, let's say, or seniors, they always wear a hat that is for them, also related with their position, their status. In Lima, we have lots of migrants from different parts of Peru. But unfortunately, when people go to Lima, to the big city, they turn to just, like adapt to the modern fashion, the, Western fashion, and they leave this tradition aside. So I think it's wonderful to have the chance of seeing, as someone that appreciates a live culture and history, seeing these clothing is still in use. So we continue here. And now we're going to another church and another important order. So, you know already that the Dominicans were the first religious order who came to Peru with the conquistadors, and another important order, the second religious order that came to Peru to begin with the evangelization of the indigenous, was the Franciscan order. So we're going now to see another important church connected to another order. So which religious order do you think we're going to see its church here, right? It is also one of the most important. So you can guess. Please help me. Which religious order we are missing to see? So we saw Franciscans. I already mentioned the Dominicans. We will not see yet the Dominican church. But there's another church of a very important religious order. And that also will explain why the church we're about to see is so impressive. Look at the line, the gigantic line. Let me check. Oh, this is a bank. Let me show you just a little distraction from our tour about history. This is the National Bank. So lines are very, very common in the banks here in Peru. So we are about now to see this other church. So prepare for what we are about to see. Ooh, I'm distracted with the flavors of those, ice creams. Muy bien, Caitlin. Gracias. You nailed it in the first try. Excelente, amiga. Muy bien. Look at this. What do you think about this church? We're going to pan it from up to down. Excellent, Caitlin. Excelente. So first we are here this close to see the details of the frontis, the front of the church. And then we're going a little bit farther so you can have a more open image. So we are in front of the Templo de la Compañía de Jesús. Indeed, Beata, yes. Look at the carvings. Look at the details. Do you recognize the carvings? Let's get a little bit closer to see the carvings here. Wow. Oh, look at this. What we are seeing are flowers. Flowers carved in stone. Forget about the mud bricks that we see in the coast of Peru, churches made of mud bricks. This is a different level of artistry. We are seeing here stone churches that took years and years to be finished. Also, that's why sometimes recording or doing a live tour inside churches in the colonial parts of the country is complicated because the walls are so thick that internet signal doesn't come through. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit of the story of this place while we also give a look to the side altar. So this church was built in the year 1605, and the style of the church is Barroco, right? So we can see also one of the side altars, chapels of the church, in which we can see images also of Pope Francis. Pictures of Pope Francis and an image of Jesus Christ of the Calvary. Even the roof is decorated beautifully. So now we're going a little bit further away so we can have again another view of the wider of the church. So as I was saying, the church is known as one of the oldest standing from the colonial period in this city. Earthquakes are known as the biggest destructors of architecture. So being able to observe a church like this one with the antiquity of this one is a prize, right? Look at this one here. I think you are able to have a more complete view from here, okay? So the temples of the Jesuits are characterized always with the symbol that is here, the JHS. JHS. And that means Jesus Hominum Salvator, which means Jesus, Savior of men. That is the sign of the Jesuits. Okay, so now we will continue. Let's continue with our tour. And we are very, very close to the most important plaza of the city. Who can tell me how we call the most important plazas in the country? Every city has its own. Does anyone knows the name of that very important plaza? Satyam says sometimes they write, yes, that's right. Muy bien, Satyam. In Peru, the variation J, or for example, in this case, I, is related with Jesus or Jesus. Muy bien, Jay. So, yes, Natalie, Plaza Central, but there is one more name we use that is, I think, more historic, more colonial. And that one is, muy bien, Plaza de Armas, Plaza Mayor. Excelente. Excelente, Caitlin. Same in Spain, yes. Yes, some adjustments done for better understanding of the indigenous and the local people. Because Jesus is in Latin, so far I know. So look at the plaza. We're about to go across. Just want to give you a wow moment. before we get to see the plaza. And here we have in the main square, Plaza Mayor, or Huepos Square, Plaza de Armas, something very, very traditional. The local ice cream, traditional ice cream of Ayacucho. We love desserts, and we can do anything about that, right? So we eat everywhere in the country. Great. Peru has an amazing gastronomy. Tell anyone who has come to Peru what is her opinion about Peruvian food. I'm sure it's going to be always positive. Look at this, helado artesanal, artisanal ice cream. And let me see my cousin. ¿Cómo está, prima? Delicious. Look at that, delicious. And look how the traditional ice cream is done. Buena señorita, ¿cómo está? So it is the cream of milk made on ice. There is ice here on the bottom. So that's how the ice cream is done, like in the traditional way. Muchas gracias, señorita. Muy amable. So we have here this traditional heladeras. Heladeras is women who make helado or ice cream. Other squares include Plaza Bolivar and Plaza San Martin. Yes, of course, Satiam. In Lima, we have our Plaza San Martin and our Plaza Bolivar. And we are going also to talk about the Liberators. If you want to learn more about the Liberators, tomorrow I intend to do a very special live tour in one of the most important battlefields of Peruvian history, but also of the history of Latin America. We are going to the Pampas de Ayacucho, where the last and most important war for the independences from Spain of the countries, the American countries, happened. So if you please have the chance, join me. I will be doing a live stream there. And as always, later, these events, once recorded, are going to be always available for my Patreons. Or if you support this video with any donation, I will be sending you a link for a replay, a private link directly to your email. So you can use it or share it with a friend. Well, that is just a little way to say thanks to you for your support and allowing me to continue sharing culture, sharing the real Peru with you all. And we were talking about Plaza San Martin, Plaza Bolivar, but this gentleman over here is not Bolivar or San Martin. We're going to talk about another hero. So there is a question. Is that the same time as now, Vanessa? The tomorrow tour, dear? Well, I think so. But I am going to travel far away from the city center to that battlefield. So I will try to make it around 10 a.m. But you know, here is the buses don't come often, so I'm going to take a public transportation. I will be recording a little bit of that for you all, so you can see how the experience is on a public transportation. And so it's going to be probably around this time. So stay tuned, please. Stay tuned, because it's going to be, you know, a once in a lifetime experience and very emotional for me, because the concept of Peru was born after that battle. We were not Peru, like the country you know, before that battle, right? So, well, here we are in front of a monument that is known as one of the most important in the city of Ayacucho. Hola, Marilu, thanks for coming. Hola, amiga. Thank you, thank you. So here we are in front of the monument dedicated to Sucre, one of the most important heroes of the independence of Peru. And as Bolivar and as San Martin, Sucre was not Peruvian. He was Venezuelan. Antonio José de Sucre was the first president of Bolivia. By the way, one of the most important cities of Bolivia is Sucre. So Sucre is the champion of the Battle of Ayacucho, the last battle for the independence of Peru. And he led the troops against the royalists, against the General Valdez, and the Viceroy La Serna, right? It was the last battle for the Spanish here. And after that, well, they had to just quit. So I will go in detail about the description of that war tomorrow. So here we have a sign that says del Perú, el Perú a Sucre. Let me just make it a little bit zoom here. Can you see it? El Perú a Sucre. 1824, December the 9th, 1924. So this monument was done for the centennial of the Battle of Ayacucho. Next year is going to be the celebration of the centennial of the battle, and we're already doing restorations and a lot of things. So this is a preparation for that very important celebration. And in the distance, we can see the Cathedral of Ayacucho. Look at this cathedral. This cathedral is quite peculiar. I don't know if you feel it like I do. But it feels like the bell towers are not really matching, with the frontis of the church, right? So let me tell you some things about the cathedral before we keep going. We keep walking. So the cathedral is a basilica. It's a basilica, so it has a very big importance in the religious community, Catholic religious community of Peru. Yes, Atiam, we're going to be celebrating next year the bicentennial of the independence. It's going to be a great time. So 100 years more of history after the inaugurations of 1924, new monuments, new things that we're going to see that will remind us the efforts our heroes did for the independence we now enjoy. But how much we're doing with that independence on our favor, that's something questionable. So we are seeing here from a distance the cathedral. So this cathedral was built in the year 1672. Well, it was the inauguration year. Since the 1630s, it started to be constructed, but it took a long time to be finished. It is the biggest temple in the city of Ayacucho. It has 4 doors, by the way, 3 in the front and 1 on one side. And well, cathedrals are the only ones who can have 3 doors, by the way. This is the tradition in the country. The material is stone, limestone, and brick. So later we're going to get closer to the frontis of the cathedral. But now we will continue to see another church because we have more to see. Look at this, also a nice picture for you. And also a reminder of the celebration next year we will have. Bicentennial. Look at also the hills. We are in the Andes. The Andes, the mountains are surrounding us with their energy. There is a pre-Hispanic history of Ayacucho. And another archaeological site I want to include is an archaeological site in these tours I'm doing that I want to share with you all. So we're going tomorrow also to an archaeological site called Wari. It is also outside the city center, and it will give us an idea of how the cities in this part of the country used to be before the coming of the conquistadors. Okay? Oh, look, we have also touristic buses here. Touristic buses. They are very popular everywhere around the world. And there's also another curiosity about this plaza, two curiosities. The first curiosity about this plaza is that it's the only plaza of this category, of this importance, main square, in the country that has these arches in the four sides of the plaza. So we have a set of arches, four of them, surrounding the plaza. So this is very, very unique. Not even in Cusco's main square, you're going to see arches in the four sides. So this is very unique. And the second curiosity is that this one is known as the biggest plaza in the country, the biggest main square in the country. Okay, so a lot of reasons also to be very proud of this place as a Peruvian. So we are missing another important religious order. So we saw the Franciscans and we saw the Jesuit church. So, and we're seeing the most famous churches of the historic center. The most famous from the 33 that we have in the city. This is known as the city of the churches. We also saw the cathedral, but we're going to see the church of a religious order that came with the conquistadors as the first one also. So let's go across the street. We have also tourism police everywhere. Tourism is very important in Peru. And as an important activity, we need to have always police in these locations. So we are going now to another church, and it is not yet lunchtime, but I am already thinking in what I'm going to be eating for lunch. So there is a long list of traditional foods that we can have in this district, in this part of the country. We have puca picante, adobo ayacuchano, caldo de cabeza, mondongo ayacuchano, and many other that only we can try here in this city. If you want me to do a culinary virtual tour, let me know it, please. I would like to know if you would like to see some local unique dishes of this part of the country. And we're now getting closer and closer to the next church. Life in Ayacucho is very quiet. Most of the activity in this city is related with agriculture. There's a lot of agriculture happening here. We have also in the center of the city businesses, as you can see, banks. So this is a very modern city. But we don't have malls, for example, in Ayacucho city. We don't have like cinemas. Like it's not something, people have it as part of their culture. We have lots of restaurants here. So the entertainments for locals are more around, the fact that they can go with friends out, they can go dance. Children are very social. Yesterday I was wandering the streets here and I saw lots of children until late. It was like 9 p.m. and they were outside walking, talking, and the city looked very, very safe. Nowadays, in the big cities, we are afraid of everything, right? Children don't go out alone. We are very careful always, afraid of what can happen to them. So life here is very, very calm. And now, look at the church we are about to see. Amigos, amigas, this is one of my favorite churches in Ayacucho. And the name of this church, let me have a seat here so we can have the chance of taking a time to see this church. This is the Church of the Dominicans. Santo Domingo Church is from 1548. So it was built few years after the city was created by the conquistadors. It is also made entirely in stone. It has this very, very your original element at the entrance, sort of like this pulpit, this balcony that is there, that was used also for preaching the indigenous. And it have this element that is called espadaña. It's an old decorative element that used to have also bells. So it was for bells. And over here, we have another interesting element that we will see from here. That's this pillar. The cross and the column you see there, or that pillar you see there, was built to commemorate the loss of many, many people, lots of victims, caused by an earthquake on the year 1640, October the 9th, 1640. So you can imagine, of course, that earthquakes have been sometimes devastating here, as they have been also everywhere in the country. And right next to this church, we have an artisanal section. So let's go across. So are you enjoying the tour, amigos? How are you feeling? Let me know if you're having a fun time. Also, let me know if you have any questions. I would like to show you a bit of what are the artisanal products we have here. Reminds me of Santo Domingo Church in Oaxaca. Ah, yes, of course, Atiam. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Oh. Hola, Adrian, I just saw your message. I will definitely do something about food, Adrian. No worries. I'm so happy you're enjoying, Satyam. Thank you, thank you. And thanks to my amigos who just joined. Thanks also to the people who have been since the beginning of the tour. We've been doing this beautiful walking tour of over 40 minutes here in this incredible city of Ayacucho. And we are now in the artisanal center of St. Dominic Church. So what are the traditional artisanal products you can get, for example, in a city like this one? Well, we are in the Andes. So at nighttime, it gets cold. Hola, Arlene. Thanks for coming, amiga. Thank you, thank you. So in the Andes, we need, jumpers and sweaters and jackets at nighttime. The climate is dry, but it gets cold at night. So the artisanal products that are produced the most here are made from, wool or fibers of like alpaca. So we have also Look at these pretty elements over here, decorative elements. We have also like power foods, like power grains. Maca is a little tuber that is used in Peru to revitalize us and is now exported to the world. Kiwicha also, cañiwa, cereals from the Andes. Also, we produce them in the region and they are here ready for exportation and also for accessible for visitors that are coming for 1 or 2 days and want to take some of these products home, these superfoods home. And look at this, if you want to take something like more spirituous, you know, we have here some drinks, cocktails prepared, made from especially pisco, a brandy, the pisco brandy made from grapes. So we will continue. Let's keep going. We have so much to see. We have another view also of the Column, the memorial with a cross on top, reminder of the victims of an earthquake from the year 1640. Look at also the stone on the floor. How beautiful. You know, this is precious. And the rhythm of the city is so calm. People are, you know, like taking their time, going everywhere slow. So coming from a big city, this is really vacation. It feels like vacation. It feels like time goes slower. If at any point of this live event you see any connection problems, let me know, please. Also, I can maybe, you know, like detach from a big wall that maybe can be causing this interruption, or go a little bit faster if necessary, and going out from that section where internet is not good. So it happens sometimes when we are in a city where the architecture is made from stone. We are in the last part of our tour, but still we are going to be together some minutes. So just to let you know that, you know, we still have things to see in this last section of the tour. By the way, the tour started at 10 a.m. Peru time. We are GMT -5. So we might be around 10:45 a.m. more or less here. Let me know what time it is where you live. If it's late time, it's morning like here, or afternoon. Also, once again, just to remind you, we are about 2,718 meters above sea level. The temperature is around 23 degrees Celsius. So it is warm. It is warm and it's dry here. So, thanks for sharing this. Natalie says 6 p.m. So I imagine, you know, I remember Europe, Amsterdam. Is that right? Arlene, 11:45 a.m. here. Oh, North America. Oh, okay, Lee, New York City also 11:45. So there is a time in the year when Peru's time and New York time matches, because we don't change time zone when we are winter, summer. So we always keep the same time. We don't save any time. So is of the Netherlands, yes, Natalie. 6 p.m. I hope it is a nice, sunny, you know, sunset you're having in this moment. But probably at 6 p.m. it still is early for sunset. In Peru, we always have sunset around 6, maybe 6:30, and that is because we are close to the equator line. So we always have sunset around that time. We're going to walk next to the cathedral now. So we're going to see the cathedral. And again, also a view a little bit more distant from the monument of the Central Park. Adrian, 11:45 Boston. Oh, interesting. We are very close to many of you in time. I'm so happy that this was a convenient time for you to join. Sometimes it's very hard to find a good time. I have so many friends from different time zones, different places. So I'm glad that still this time is good. Also until 8 p.m., Natalie, for you to see sunset. Wow. And I imagine that in winter must be very, very early too. So remember, here is always the same time. It's around 6. No surprises. I know, Adrian, many people says that. Many people says that, like time change is not so, useful anymore. So well, I think that is interesting because we don't have that in Peru. Also, we don't have any snow in my city, Lima, but here there is snow sometimes. Not often, but sometimes. So we're seeing here the plaza again. And there is also a interview of authority, so we will just keep going. It's an authority representative of the city hall. And we will see now the cathedral. The cathedral from the exterior. Remember that because of the material of most of these Andean churches is stone, it's mainly stone and brick. Unfortunately, inside these churches, the internet connection is really bad. So that's why we keep out. But I will be doing recordings inside the churches. So they will be available also for my Patreon. So please support me on Patreon. With as little as $2 per month, you can access to all my recordings. I will be also posting some here on YouTube, but to make these trips also possible, your support is really fundamental. So muchas gracias. And pass the voice with your friends. Let them know that they can travel with me everywhere in Peru from the comfort of their homes. So we have here a church. It's a little bit dark over here, but we will get a little bit closer. People are very religious also, so they are very respectful. And we just get a little bit close. Look at this. We will be silent. Wow. Do you see that? I don't want to go deeper because maybe we will lose internet. Did you see the main altar covered in gold leaf? I hope you were able to see it. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. And solemn. But not so many people at this time in the day, right? Not so many people, and that is because everybody's working, everybody's active, doing their things. Okay, another view of the plaza, and we go now. Yes, amigo. I did a little test. I remember yesterday when I saw another church, smaller, and the internet rapidly went out after some meters deeper into the church. So I didn't want to risk our internet connection that is so good, but I'm glad that you were able to see the altar. So we go to the last church of this, to look at the thick walls of this cement, these bricks. Wow. Very, very thick walls, very thick pillars. So let's now continue to the next church. So we saw the church of the Franciscans. Then we visited the church of the Jesuits. We continue with the church of the Cathedral. Then the Dominicans. And we are about to see the church of another religious order of great importance. I hope the grand finale for our tour. So please remember that tomorrow and the day after I will be here in Ayacucho. This is my little vacation. But also the reason why I came here, besides sharing this beautiful city with you, was to celebrate, well, ahead of time, my birthday. On September 15 is going to be my birthday. I'm going to turn 40, so woohoo! And I want to celebrate it since now. Like 1 month before, I am celebrating my birthday. And of course, I will be doing some events and special things to share my birthday with you all. You are part of my extended family now. So, well, that's going to be definitely more in Lima for my celebration of my birthday. But this is sort of like a pre-celebration. And the big 4, yes, 40, whoo, 4 decades of life lived, happily to the fullest, doing what I love, and sharing my country with you all. So, well, I cannot ask more to God. Just a little bit more life to help me to share, to continue share all of this with you all. Gracias, Natalie. I am just a baby still. So this is the church of the Mercedarios, Templo de la Merced. So it is also beautiful. Just let me leave the camera a little bit. So notice that the element of the bell towers are very important decorative parts of the churches, but also the bell towers are usually not super tall. No, they are quite short, also because of the earthquakes. So making them too tall will be too risky. They look very picturesque always. So the Temple of the Merced was built in the year 1540, and the style of this church is what we call Renacentista or Renaissance or Renaissance. And it is believed that one of the most important heroines of Ayacucho, a fighter for the independence, a lady from this location, Maria Parado de Bellido, is buried here. But we don't know exactly the location of her burial site, right? So she was tortured by the Spanish or by the royalists in a time when, sedition, like fighting for the independence was the highest crime you could do. So she was killed. That was before the independence, by the way. But she was one of the fighters of the independence, a woman, very important to say, women took a very active role in the independence. And, well, here we have a place where probably is the tomb of this lady. So now we're coming to the end of this event. Let me just go across to also have the chance of saying bye to you all. I hope you enjoyed the tour. How did you like the tour, by the way, amigos? Did you like the tour? Did you enjoy it? Did you find it interesting? If you are new in my channel, my name is Vanessa Vasquez. I am from Lima originally. I always say that I am your Lima City tour guide. I am still your Lima City tour guide, but today I'm also your Ayacucho City tour guide. So it's been really a pleasure to show you this part of the country, to walk with you, to have you today for this almost an hour in this city. Stay tuned with the upcoming events I'm going to be posting. Remember, tomorrow and the day after I will be here. So if you see any event activated, run, and come to see it, because, well, there is going to be, something unique that I will not be able to repeat, because, well, later on Saturday I go back home in Lima. So also you can see replays, not just of this tour later, because I'm going to keep it posted until tonight open. It's a special event, so I know many friends that are not able to join at this time are not going to be able to see it. So I will keep it open until tonight. Today is the 16th of August, tonight Peruvian time. So people can see this video, and later it's going to be saved and will only be possible to be seen by my Patreons, or with a little donation, any donation on PayPal. Any amount is highly appreciated. So if you want to see this video and you want to donate on PayPal, so just let me know that you want to see this video, and I will be sending it right away. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. I'm reading your comments now. Thank you, Arlene. Thank you, Yubi. Yubi is my cousin. She's waiting for me in the main square. So I will go in a moment, Yubi. Thank you, Satyan. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Beata. Thanks for being here since the beginning. Gracias, Adrian, amiga. Gracias, Arlene. So, well, see you soon. See you in just some maybe hours, because if there's something interesting, I will be sharing it with you all. Okay, see you soon. Until the next time, muchas gracias, and woo, bye bye. Ciao, ciao. Adios. Ciao, amigos.